Episode 3: The Village That Could Not Keep Quiet. A Cape Kingdom Love Tale. Northwest Province of Cameroon. By the time the third moon after the council meeting appeared in the sky, Cape Kingdom was no longer quiet. Not in the market, not in the farms, not even in the palace. The story of Princess Bee and Anthony had grown bigger than the two of them. It had become a story that walked on its own feet, entering every home, every gathering, and every conversation. People no longer asked, "Have you heard?" They asked, "What do you think will happen?" Every market day, before the sun climbed too high, the town crier stood on his wooden platform. He was a tall man with a strong voice, and by now everyone knew the sound of his drum. Boom, 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 boom. Women paused while arranging vegetables. Men stopped tying bundles of firewood. Children gathered, curious and excited. The town crier lifted his voice, "People of Cape Kingdom." The Council of Elders continues its deliberation. No final decision has been reached concerning Princess Bee. Remain calm and respectful. The words were the same every week, but the reactions were never the same. The market would explode into noise. Still no decision? A woman would shout, "These elders like to talk too much." Another replied. Some people laughed. Some argued. Some shook their heads in frustration. Under the tall mango tree near the market entrance, the elder women often gathered. One of them, Mama and Four, spoke with a serious face. Tradition is not a child's toy. If we drop it today, how do we pick it up tomorrow? Another woman replied, but tradition should not crush a young girl's heart. Mama Nufo sighed. Love is sweet, but rules keep us standing. Nearby, a group of young people argued loudly. Let the princess marry who she loves, one said. Love does not know borders, another added. A young man folded his arms. Easy for you to say. What happens when everyone starts breaking rules? The arguments moved like fire across dry grass. As the village talked, Princess Bee remained inside the palace more than usual. She did not go to the market as often. She did not walk freely through the courtyards. Not because she was being punished, but because she wanted to show respect. Inside the room, she spent long hours thinking. Sometimes she sat by the window, watching the hills. Sometimes she sat quietly with the attendants, helping them braid hair or fold cloth, just to keep her hands busy. But her thoughts always returned to the same place. What if the elders say no? What if my love brings shame to my father? One afternoon, her closest attendant, Manka, noticed her silence. Princess, Manka said gently, you have not smiled today. Princess Bee forced a small smile. I am fine. Manka hesitated. The village is talking. Princess Bee nodded. I know. Does it hurt? Manka asked softly. Princess Bee looked at her hands. It does, but pain does not mean regret. Manka smiled sadly. You are brave. Princess Bee shook her head. I am just honest. While Princess Bee waited in the palace, Anthony waited in the village. He stayed in a small guest house near the edge of Cape Kingdom. It was simple, with mud walls and a thatched roof, but he did not complain. Each morning he woke early. He helped traders carry goods. He greeted elders properly. He joined farmers when they needed extra hands. Some villagers began to see him differently. He works hard, one man said. He does not act proud, another added, but not everyone was kind. One afternoon, Anthony walked through the market and heard whispers behind him. That is the foreigner. He is the reason our kingdom is noisy. He should have left by now. Anthony felt the words, but he did not answer. He remembered what his mother once told him. If your heart is clean, walk calmly. Noise cannot change truth. So he walked calmly. As the weeks passed, something unexpected happened. The young men of Cape Kingdom became restless. At first, only a few had gone to the palace to ask for Princess Bee's hand, but now more came, and more. They arrived in the groups. They arrived alone. They arrived with confidence. Some wore their best traditional cloth. Some carried kola nuts. Some brought goats, cloth, or promises. They stood at the palace gate and spoke proudly. I am from Cape Kingdom. My family is known. I respect tradition. The palace guards grew tired of announcing visitors. Another one? One guard whispered. Inside the palace, the elders were informed. One elder shook his head. This matter is becoming heavy. Another replied, the people think the princess is rejecting her own. Princess B was called before the elders, not to judge her, but to hear her voice. She entered the council space calmly and greeted them respectfully. My fathers, she said, bowing slightly. One elder spoke gently. Princess B, many young men from our land have come forward. Princess B nodded. I am aware. Do you reject them because they are unworthy? Another elder asked. Princess B lifted her head. No, my father. They are worthy men. Then why do you refuse them all? A third elder asked. Princess B took a deep breath. Because my heart has already chosen, she said simply. The elders exchanged looks. One elder sighed. The heart is stubborn. Princess B replied softly, but it is also truthful. King Iwa, who had been silent, watched his daughter closely. He saw no pride in her words, no disrespect, only honesty. As the palace filled with suitors, the village gossip grew louder. Some people laughed. See how the men are lining up like market day. Others were annoyed. This is embarrassing for the kingdom. Some women whispered secretly. If I were the princess, I would choose one and end this matter. But others defended her. She knows what she wants. Would you marry someone your heart rejects? Even children joined the talk. Two boys playing near the stream argued. She should marry the foreigner. One said, no, she should marry someone from here. The other replied. Their argument ended when they both laughed and ran away, but it showed how deep the story had gone. Inside the palace, King Iwa felt the pressure growing. Every day advisors brought reports. The people are restless. The elders are divided. The suitors keep coming. King Iwa listened. At night he sat alone more often. He remembered his own youth. He remembered how he had loved his wife, not because of law, but because of the heart. He whispered to himself, is tradition meant to guide us or trap us? But he did not answer too quickly. A king must be patient. One evening, after a long day, Princess B asked permission to speak with her father. They sat together in the palace courtyard. The moonlight covered the ground softly. Father, Princess B said, the village is tired. King Yewa nodded. I know. They are arguing, she continued. Some are angry, some are hopeful. King Yewa sighed. Change always makes noise. Princess B looked at him. I never wanted to bring trouble. King Yewa reached out and held her hand. My daughter, he said, you did not choose trouble. You chose love. Princess B's eyes filled with tears. Then why does it feel so heavy? King Yewa smiled gently. Because love that matters often carries weight. They sat quietly for a moment. Then King Yewa said, the elders will meet again soon. A final direction must come. Princess B nodded. Whatever the decision, I will respect it. King Yewa looked at her carefully. Even if it hurts? Princess B swallowed. Yes, father. King Yewa's heart tightened. As episode 3 draws to a close, Cape Kingdom stands louder than ever. The market talks do not stop. The suitors do not stop coming. The elders do not stop debating. Princess B remains steady, but tired. Anthony remains patient, but watched. And King Yewa stands between the past and the future. The kingdom is learning something important. When love enters a place ruled by tradition, it does not whisper. It speaks, and soon, very soon, Cape Kingdom will have to answer. This is not just a love story, it is an African tale. Like, share and subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications bell to be notified when we upload a new story.